being in the moment as a healthcare provider means being in some pretty bad moments in the relative sense, in the sense of like, I mean, you could say nothing's good and bad. That's a little irrelevant in the middle of your workday. It's bad. When someone is bleeding on the floor and crying, it's bad, you know, whatever it is. Staying with that, it might be counterintuitive that staying with that instead of avoiding it prevents burnout. That it's empowering to yourself and sustaining to be with it rather than to pull ourselves away from it. And that's not easy to explain. One analogy that helps me, and it's an analogy for a lot of us in a lot of things, second sports analogy. Some of my heroes, sports heroes, are like not new, but well-experienced, great basketball players. And you see them play from behind in the fourth quarter. And there is a joy of working with being behind, of working with what's happening. And then say they get a bad call from the ref. It's completely unfair. It is wrong. The players who at that point freak out and blame the ref and get ejected from the game are the ones who burn out. The players who take whatever kind of insult and difficulty that comes along as food for their game are the ones who play, you know, as long as their knees will work, who play till they're old. And that's true in healthcare people, for sure. As having done it for decades and watched people, the people who get involved in whose fault is it? Some blame themselves, some blame others. But the whole idea of removing the immediacy by making up a story and getting obsessed with the story, that's what causes burnout. Staying in the game, staying on the dot is difficult, and none of us does it all the time, but it is something you exercise those muscles. You learn how to do that, and you learn how to do it by a combination of meditating, doing mindfulness practice, doing other practices that engage our courage and our mental stability, some of which are Shambhala practices almost only, and heart-opening practices. And this whole, it's like a training regimen that allows us to find a stable, I was going to say not freak out, but that's an exaggeration. It's a subtle point. To be there, to say, I'm freaking out. That guy's bleeding. I'm going to take care of him. And to feel good at the end of the day and to feel like going to work the next morning.